This tutorial will show you how to draw a city street in one-point perspective. Your end result will look something like this. You'll draw a few simple buildings next to a road leading off into the distance toward one vanishing point. You use one-point perspective when you're drawing a street with buildings viewed straight on, where one wall is facing you head-on and nothing is turned at an angle. So the wall that you're facing would look like a normal rectangle. Only the walls that are going back into the distance will look like trapezoids, because the part of the wall that is farther away looks smaller than the part of the wall that is close. So with one-point perspective, each building will have one wall that looks like a rectangle and one wall that looks like a trapezoid. If you were trying to draw a scene where the buildings are turned at an angle, like a street viewed from the corner, then you wouldn't use one-point perspective. In that case, both walls would be going back into the distance away from you. So the edges of those buildings would meet at one vanishing point on the right side and one vanishing point on the left side, and all of the walls would look like trapezoids. So to start your drawing, place your paper horizontally in landscape orientation. The first thing you're going to draw is the horizon line. It doesn't have to be right in the middle, it could be anywhere, but while you're learning, it's just easier to put it somewhere near the middle. The horizon line shows the division between the land and the sky. It also represents the eye level of the viewer. So you'll be able to look down and see the top of any building that's completely below the horizon line. And if a building crosses over above the horizon line, you would not be able to see the top of it because it's above your eye level. So on your horizon line, you should choose one point that will become your vanishing point, where all of the converging lines in your drawing will appear to meet. Again, this doesn't have to be right in the middle, but for now you can put it somewhere near the middle to keep things simple. Now you can draw a road by making a couple of lines that converge at the vanishing point. And you can draw two more lines to make a sidewalk on each side. To make your first building, you should start with the part that is closest to you. And in one-point perspective, that would be a wall that looks like a simple rectangle, since it's not at any kind of angle. For this first building, make your rectangle cross over the horizon line. To draw the wall that's going back into space, you'll draw converging lines to show that the part of the building that's far away looks smaller than the part that's close to the viewer. Then you need to show the back corner of the building, because right now it looks like it goes on forever. To cut it off, decide how far back you want the building to go, and then draw a parallel line. The front edge of the building is vertical, so of course the back edge has to be vertical too. Now, if you erase any unnecessary lines, you can see the outlines of your first building. To draw windows, you follow the same rules. If the window is on the wall that's going back into space, then the part that is farther away will look shorter than the part that is close. So the top and bottom of the window will be converging lines leading to the vanishing point. And the left and right parts of the window will be vertical lines, just like the corners of the wall that it's on. If you want to draw a window or door on the wall that you're facing, it will just look like a regular rectangle, because this wall isn't going off into the distance, we're just looking at it head-on. Now let's try drawing a short building that's entirely below the horizon line. It's below eye level, so you'll be able to look down onto the top of the building. Draw a simple rectangle to start. To show that the building has depth, you'll need to connect the corners to the vanishing point. Now that it looks like a 3D building, you can decide how far back you want it to go and then cut it off. Just like the first building, you'll need a vertical line to finish off the wall, just like the vertical corner in front. And to cut off the top of the building, it will need to be a horizontal line like the one in the front, since the top of the building is flat. Erase unnecessary lines, and you can see your little building and look down onto the top of it. Now, for a challenge, let's try drawing another building that's pretty close to the first one. Start off by drawing the wall that's facing you, which is just a normal rectangle. Then, same technique as before, you're going to connect the corners to the vanishing point. But now you can't just cut off the building wherever you want. It has to end before the building next to it starts. So try to leave a little bit of space between the two buildings so that you can walk in through the door. So draw a vertical line to cut off the back wall, and a horizontal line to cut off the back edge of the top. Erase unnecessary lines, and now you can't see the doorknob because the new building is blocking our view, but you can see that you could walk in between those two buildings. So there you go. That's how you draw a simple city view in one-point perspective.